Hi, this is International Master Bindi Cheng with you once again, and today we have a special guest, Mr. Warenh Harper from Arizona. Well, he's living in Arizona, but he was from Houston originally, so he's a fan of Houston Astros, and as you can tell, I'm a big baseball fan, so I usually just nag on him on how terrible the Houston Astros are recently. But yeah, so today we're going to go follow him, and we're going to do another 5-minute game. His rating is actually higher than the other two players that I casted before, so this should be a stronger opposition. Although in this case, he actually faced someone weaker than him by about 100 points. So he's playing Blumento, and I'm just taking a look at Blumento quickly for a sec, and he does not have his name here, but he's going to play Blumento, and they're both FIDE masters. So the opening went d4, d5, knight f3, knight f6, c4, c6. This is a Slav. And queen b6 is definitely a interesting move in this case. Usually what happens in this case is bishop f4, knight c3, e6, h3. Oh, someone give me a challenge. I'm going to decline that. But in this case, Blumento took here, and sort of like an exchange Slav. Okay, so he took on f3 first, and after queen takes b7, knight bd7. Okay, this is very strange, because, okay, so, wow, I'm actually pretty confused here. Because this usually doesn't happen. I mean, I think the move here is just queen c8, because attacking the bishop on c1, so knight c3 is forced, and you take here, and then play e6. So, yeah, this is very strange. And I don't think this is the best continuation for black, because even though material is equal, white has a bishop here, plus black's pawn a7 is kind of weak. So, this is probably not the best continuation I recommend. I think queen c8 earlier, as I've said, is probably much better. But this is definitely playable as well. And first thing first, black has to castle, because white already castled. So white's next move is just going to be bishop d2 and rook c1, and just invade on the c file, or just knight b5. Because knight b5, knight c7, that's pretty strong. So yeah, bishop e7 has to be played, and while we wait for that move, I guess we can talk about the essay that I have due in 2 hours that I have not started yet. But that's for another time, I guess, because this is about chess, not English essays. And we're still waiting for bishop b7. Like, I'm pretty sure this has to be played, because there's really no other move that black can go for here, except, okay, I guess queen b8, so I stand corrected. So he's trying to trade queens. It's a wise idea, I would say, because with the queen on b7, if the rook goes to b8, the pawn a7 is going to be hanging in almost all the lines. So after you get the queens off, it's easier for black to play. But unfortunately, this also allows white to have a free hand to try to basically beat black in endgame because of the 2 versus 1 queenside majority. Now, even though material is equal, white has the advantage on the queen side, and that's where most of the play is going to be once queens are traded off, as it is, because both sides are just going to be going for the queen side. And since the side with more pawns on that side is going to have a bit of an advantage, white's just going to have a free play in this game. Most likely, if this is an actual, like, over-the-board game with like 2-hour time control, black should have no winning chances at all, and white should be just playing without risk. But because this is Blitz, and anything can happen in Blitz, I'm going to be interested to see how this game goes. So first of all, rook c1, that's pretty standard. Rook c8 is probably a fair move. Bring the rook here. One problem is, okay, well, there's no problem now, but one idea was knight takes d5. There's some like wacky stuff with knight takes d5, but in this case it doesn't quite work. But okay, so bishop a3, knight, rook c2, rook c8, bishop c1. So I don't think he should trade, because if he trades, then that just helps white put his rooks on the c files. But if he doesn't trade, then bishop b4, bishop b2, and white's still going to have a bit of advantage on the queen side. So it's not such an easy decision for black to make here, because basically he has picked the lessers of two evils, and he picked bishop b4. And whichever one he picks, he's going to be a bit slightly worse in all cases. So rook c7, that's good. Rook c1, because you can't take on d5 with check, because the knight takes d5. And if bishop takes d5, then just pawn takes d5. So there is no tactical threat for him just yet. But now there is. Knight takes d5 does not move. So rook c8 has to be played. And now you have to stop that. a3, and probably bishop a5. I would be I would be almost 100% sure bishop a5 is a move. Bishop d6 is probably a move, is possible as well. Basically, the idea is you don't want to give him tempo on b4. And now black can actually go for a5 if you want to. Because the thing that white has that's a bit of a problem is the rooks are pinned. You can't move his knight. So now, actually, knight e4 is quite a possible move. But I guess bishop a6 is here. So knight b8 first. Knight b8 to stop bishop a6. And knight e4 is very possible. And it might be very strong. Okay, knight b8, very good move. Stopping bishop a6. Okay, so knight, bishop d3. Knight e4 is still possible. I don't know if it's as strong now though, because now bishop can just take on e4. But this gives black some more opportunities than he would have had if he didn't have this. For example, now I think e5 might even be possible in some cases. Fortunately now, oh, okay, my bad. So knight e4 wasn't possible, but because of knight takes e4 and bishop was guarding c2, that's why he just played g6, and that's why he was able to move his knight. Okay, so now knight b5, knight c6, knight takes d6, king c6, and we have an endgame with bishop pair and knight pair, and white does have slight advantage here. So black has to try to either trade the bishops off, take away the bishop pair advantage, or try to tactically make his knights better than how they are right now. So e4. I think the move here is probably f6. It's probably a good move. f5. No, I'm not quite sure about f5 because it gives more holes for white to come in with the king on the king side. But keep in mind that Warenh is a bit low in time, so that can basically change how he thinks. When low in time, he tried to make moves that seem most natural without thinking about it too much, which is what I'm thinking he's doing right now. So after knight d5, bishop e1, bishop's going to go to g3, I would say, and probably g5, knight f6 check, king f4, no, king d3, okay. Now e5 is possible, or king d5. Okay, so his pawn on d4 is actually hanging, so bishop f2 is probably forced. So that's surprising. So apparently black's knights are much stronger than how they were like just 5 moves ago. And they're really having some pressure on white's pieces here. Well, specifically white's pawn d4. Okay, so bishop d1. Knight takes d4. It's like, well, I guess you can't take that because of the pawn on a5. So maybe a4 first, but then bishop takes f, bishop f3 check. Okay, so take. Okay, so now we have basically like kind of a race. So it's a race is basically when both sides just push pawns and try to queen their pawn first. The thing is though, I think white definitely has an advantage here because bishop pair and the 2 connected pass pawns. And also because he has no time. So I think black might just flag here actually. That would be kind of unfortunate, but oh, okay, so it was my computer. Apparently I lagged for like 10 seconds, which kind of sucks, but it happens. It's a good thing I'm not playing any like high intensity games because I would not be doing well right now. So Warenh still has about 10 seconds left. It's not quite enough time, but he does pose some kind of threat. There's a chance that black may get a draw here, although I'll be very surprised if that happens. So let's see what they do now. Take. So white just has to waste 7 seconds. It should be pretty easy, but stranger things have happened. 8. Okay, so there is no way black can draw this. I don't think it's even possible. I mean, I'm just gonna not talk for a little bit here, and okay, so this is okay. Bishop c6. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh dang. That's too bad. I was hoping he would play king c5, so that if he queens, he just takes it, and then taking this pawn, and that would be a draw. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But it was still it was still kind of interesting how it went. And as I've done in previous episodes, I'll go through the game fairly fast to see what happened. So it's going to be theory. Queen c8 is probably the best move here, because after this forced continuation, White was just slightly better the whole game, and uses advantage to basically get a slight edge in the endgame. Although in this case, I would say he has a bigger edge than before, just because of the pawns here. So Black tried to use some tactical tricks to get a pawn, but unfortunately he lost his pawn here as well. And Black was very low on time, so he did not make the best moves, but he still made very strong moves, seeing as he only had like 20 seconds left on the clock for like the last 20 moves. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully next time I will be able to cast someone else and make it even more impressive. Thank you very much, and hope to see you guys again soon. Bye bye.